One of the things we have to do is get the Democrats to stop the Democrat shutdown, because as you know, the apparatus that looks into that, Schumer and the Democrats have shut it down, which tells you they probably hate our country a lot. We're watching every single one of them. Yeah, we know a lot about them, but the shutdown doesn't allow us to do what we have to do.
Anxieties are already high, and over the weekend, 2 men were charged with using a weapon of mass destruction and providing material support to ISIS after a pair of homemade bombs were thrown at anti-Muslim protesters outside of the New York City mayor's residence on Saturday. That attack, according to the NYPD Commissioner Jess Patish, is not related to what's going on in Iran. So is it fair to blame Democrats when things like that happen?
Abby, I think it's unconscionable that Democrats are not funding the Department of Homeland Security when we're in a military conflict with the world's greatest sponsor of terrorism. I mean, it is.
According to the NYPD Commissioner Jess Patish, is not related to what's going on in Iran. So is it fair?
That ICE agents pull out of Minneapolis. This is a pure political stunt that they're playing, and it's incredibly risky right now to be doing that when we're at war with the greatest sponsor of terror in the world.
Respectfully, we control no lever of power in government right now. Democrats are in the minority in everything. So I think it's unfair to put blame solely on the Democrats for horrific actions that are happening in New York.
We need 60 votes in the Senate, and so all Republicans voted to fund the government, and it's pulling down.
Mark, I have a great deal of respect for you. I love you to death, but I think that what is
Now, Democrats are in the minority in everything. So I think it's unfair.
that is the reaction. And yes, you're right. Times have changed. Things are different now. We're at war now. I agree with that. I wish that we could have 8 people who run this country, right? Who are the most powerful people in the world, get in a room and work this out. But the fact is, the Department of Homeland Security, they ran amok. We saw the images. We saw the images of Renee Good get gunned down in the
Solution
streets.
is to keep more Americans vulnerable.
No, not at all. Not at all. No, not at all.
There's another point to be made here, which is that it is a little bit precious for the president to be crying about the Democrats not funding.
The solution is to keep more Americans vulnerable.
No, not at all. Not at all. No, not at all.
There's a group of officers. Guess what? Their job is to study Iran. That was done by his FBI director. It was not done by the Democrats. This is an administration that has systematically weakened our own ability to deal with these sleeper cells. And now to say that we should be worried about sleeper cells, that's a little rich, don't you think?
Well, there's more knowledge in their sleeper cells. And you're basically
definitely are. But maybe the House is just not ready.
Why do we fire the FBI guys? Sleeper cells. They tried to kill my friend here in New York City. Sleeper cells. That's a little rich, don't you think?
Well, there's more knowledge in their sleeper cells. And you're basically
No doubt that there are sleeper cells. We should be doubling up on the FBI's capacity to do
And
that.
Democrats and Republicans have been
Firing
highlighting
people who
that.
know how to do this is not the great place to start.
But does anyone here believe that we should keep the Department of Homeland Security, that's the name of it, indefinitely shut down to try to force ICE policy changes on an agency that's already funded until 2029, when you acknowledge there are sleeper cells, when we all see radical Islamic terrorists throwing IEDs in New York City, when we saw a radical Muslim terrorist shoot up a bar in Austin to try to force ICE policy changes on an agency that's already funded until 2029, when you acknowledge there are sleeper cells, when we all see radical Islamic terrorists throwing IEDs in
No, I think what I believe is that Democrats and Republicans need to get their shit together. Everybody does at this particular time. Cash Patel,
The House is at recess.
is he just mentioned? Cash Patel, Kristi Noem, look as if they're swimming at a time where we need strong leadership, and we don't have it. That's what we're thirsty
Mark
for.
made it interesting, and I think you laid out actually a lot of changes that suggest that the administration acknowledged that they needed to make a change in terms of how their immigration enforcement was operating. So, I mean, it seems to me they've all interesting, and I think you laid out actually a lot of the finish line. Why can't we get over the finish line, and why not just lay that all out on the table and say, hey, Democrats, you wanted this, here you go, let's open it up and up.
I think, since you just said it, given a lot of concessions in the policy we've had, I think they're basically giving them a lot of things that Democrats asked for. At this point, again, in Sabrina's point about Republicans controlling all levels of government, it requires 60 votes in the Senate. Every Republican is voting for it. Every Democrat is
Don't you
voting
think that
against
by
it. This is
comparison to
partisan.
the scope of the issue, masks on
They're basically giving them a lot of things that Democrats asked for. At this point,
it seems to me like seems like an easy thing that Republicans could say, yeah, we're gonna make some adjustments on that. Let's reopen it.
I agree with you on the masking, Abby, but I think it's small on both sides.
Yeah, and
I just said that. I literally just said that.
Okay, exactly.
We don't have any.
All right.
Like, thank you. I'm sorry, but
all right,
leadership
there
matters.
we go. We
Leadership
came
matters.
to an agreement on that one. Thank you very much for being here. Next, we'll